Like Dr. Fauci, if you don't mind, to follow up on what the president is saying, should Americans have hope in this drug right now?
No, there really isn't that much of a difference in many respects with what we're saying. The president feels optimistic about something, his feeling about it. Fundamentally, I think it probably is going to be safe. But I like to prove things first. So it really is a question of not a lot of difference. It's the hope that it will work versus proving that it will work. So I don't see big differences here.
I agree.
Sir, your message to Americans.
I agree.
It was very clear that there were things that were said, be it regarding things like hydroxychloroquine and other things like that, that really was uncomfortable because they were not based on scientific fact. I can tell you, I take no pleasure at all in being in a situation of contradicting the president. So it was really something that you didn't feel that you could actually say something and there wouldn't be any repercussions about it. The idea that you can get up here and talk about what you know, what the evidence, what the science is, and know that's it. Let the science speak. It is somewhat of a liberating feeling.
A liberated Dr. Anthony Fauci at the White House briefing yesterday. Good morning and welcome to Morning Joe. It is Friday, January 22nd. Along with Joe, Willie, and me, we have Washington anchor for BBC World News America, Katty Kay joins us. And White House editor for Politico, Sam Stein, joins us this morning. So President Biden laid out a comprehensive strategy against coronavirus yesterday. Biden has immediately signed an executive order for masks to be worn during interstate travel on airplanes, trains, buses, and at airports, and requiring travelers coming into the country to prove they have a recent negative coronavirus test, and that they will comply with quarantining guidelines once they've arrived. He's also directed agencies to use the Defense Production Act and other powers to manufacture badly needed protective gear and vaccine supplies. Biden called on Congress to get behind his efforts, saying the U.S. death toll will likely reach 500,000 next month.
Our national plan launches a full-scale wartime effort to address the supply shortages by ramping up production and protective equipment, syringes, needles, you name it. And when I say wartime, people kind of look at me like wartime. Well, as I said last night, 400,000 Americans have died. That's more than have died in all of World War II. 400,000. And this is a wartime undertaking. Today, I'm signing an executive action to use the Defense Production Act and all other available authorities to direct all federal agencies and private industry to accelerate the making of everything that's needed to protect, test, vaccinate, and take care of our people. I know these bold, practical steps will not come cheaply, but failing to do so will cost us so much more dearly. I look forward to working with members of both parties in the Congress. We're in a national emergency, and it's time we treat it like one, together with a national plan as the United States of America.
We played some of this at the top. Dr. Anthony Fauci stepping up to the White House briefing room podium for the first time in months yesterday and spoke pretty freely about how he felt of the previous administration and how it handled the coronavirus pandemic.
One of the new things in this administration is if you don't know the answer, don't guess. Just say you don't know the answer. One of the things that we're going to do is to be completely transparent, open, and honest. If things go wrong, not point fingers, but to correct them and to make everything we do be based on science and evidence. I mean, that was literally a conversation I had 15 minutes ago with the president. The idea that you can get up here and talk about what you know, what the evidence, what the science is, and know that's it. Let the science speak. It is somewhat of a liberating feeling. We certainly are not starting from scratch. We are continuing, but you're going to see a real ramping up of it. The goal that was set by the president of getting 100 million people vaccinated in the first 100 days is quite a reasonable goal. If we get 70 to 85% of the country vaccinated, let's say by the end of the summer, middle of the summer, I believe by the time we get to the fall, we will be approaching a degree of normality.
I mean, Willie, that's really the headline out of that entire press conference. A lot of Americans hearing Dr. Fauci saying, if we can get 75, 80 million out there by midsummer, then we're going to be approaching normality by the fall. Normalcy by the fall. And we've heard in President Biden's first 2 days that he's doing all the things that not only this show, but so many other people and healthcare experts were begging Donald Trump to do starting in March, which is let's nationalize this, use the National Production Act, the Defense Production Act, throw everything that you've got at this. And the President Trump just refused to do that. Obviously, a new sheriff's in town. Hey, thanks.